Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Data Operations and Research. In this video, I am going to show you how to match your results derived from the NSSO Merge Dataset with the NSSO reports. For conducting the analysis, we are going to use the NSSO 71st round merge data file that we created in the previous video. If you haven't seen that video, then check out the video how to merge NSSO data in STATA and apply weights. Link to that video is in the description. Matching the results from merge dataset with the NSSO reports is not at all difficult. One has to just reverse engineer to verify the results. That is, open the report, take a particular table, and try creating it using the merge dataset. If the results derived from the merge dataset match the NSSO reports, then it means that you have correctly merged the NSSO dataset and you can start conducting your analysis. So in this video, I am going to cover two such tables from the NSSO reports that will use different levels of the merged data and verify their accuracy. Also, this video will show you some of the more complicated commands that one has to use to derive the tables. This video will also highlight why reading the schedule is so important, and lastly, it will also show one of the uses of concatenate command in Excel and how it can be used to make life easier. So let's start with the first table. So first we will have to open the reports. So on the desktop I have saved my NSSO 71st round data, so I'm going to open it, and these are the two reports. So I'm going to open this one. So as I have already opened it, so here it is. So the first table that I'm going to make is this: age specific attendance ratio by age group for each state union territory. So these are the things that we will require to create that particular table. So from here, from the table, we can see that what all things we need. We need the states, we need the different age groups, we need male, female, we need rural, urban, and also we need whether they are attending school or not. So age is given by C6. I'll just open the data. So I have opened STATA. I'll go to open. Now my data is stored on the desktop. So here is the NSSO 71st round. Here is the merge dataset that we created previously. So I'm going to open it. So you can see that sex is C6. So if we scroll down, you can see that C6 sex is given over here. C7 is age. Then we need status of current educational attendance. It is C14. So status of current educational attendance. Then we need rural urban. Rural urban is given by sector A6. So rural, here is sector A6, and then we need state. Now state is given by NSS region. So we have to first make changes to these particular 5 variables and then apply the command to generate the table given in the report. So let's start with it. So let's start with say sex. So first we will tabulate. Sex is given by C6. So C6. So you can see it is given by 1 and 2. Now how do we know that 1 is for what and 2 for is what? So we will go open this, go to supporting documents and open the schedule. So I have already opened it. So here is the schedule. So if I scroll down, you can find that sex is given for male it is 1 and for female it is 2. So I have to make changes here. So label define C6, 1 is male, I have to add a space, 2 is female, enter. Now as it is a string variable, as you can see here, so I have to destring it. So dstring C6 comma replace, changes have been made. Now I have to label values C6 and now I will tabulate C6 with weights IW equal to, and you can see that the 51.45% of the individuals are male and the remaining are female, and the 48.55 are female. So we have changed 1 to 2 male female. Now we will come to the second variable. Now second, let's take age. So age is given by C7. So first we will destring it, destring C7 comma replace. Now what we have to look in the table is that here age is given into uh, in a bracket, so we have to we have to create one code for a particular age group. So from 6 to 13 we have to assign a particular value to it, then 14 to 17, 18 to 23, and 24 to 29. So for that we have to recode the age group. So we will use recode C7, the variable name, and then 6 to 13 equal to 1 bracket closed, then 14 to 17 equal to 2, then 18 to 23 we have to apply the brackets, sorry for that, equal to 3 bracket closed, and then bracket 24 to 29 sorry 24 to 29 is equal to 4, and we will generate a new new variable using these. So generate age group. Now one thing you have to keep in mind is that you cannot allow space while giving names to these while generating a variable, because if you give space then an error will show. So I have intentionally given a space over here. So if I press enter, you will see that an error has come. So one has to change that space with the underscore. So, and now if we apply the command, the changes have been made. So now we can see the changes. So tabulate. Now the new variable that we have created is age group. So I'm going to scroll down. You can see age group, and it is a recode of C7. So I'm going to select it, apply weights to it. Sorry, IW equal to weight, and what you can see is that the age between the age has means from 6 to 29, the codes that we have made. So you can see that from age 6 to age 29 we have used we have created brackets of age, and you have given codes to them. So for that particular group the age is not showing here, and so it means that we have made the changes. So now let's and now the third variable that we have to see is status of current educational attendance. So we need the uh, entire command, we don't need to make much changes with it. We just have to destring it. So destring, the variable code is C14. So C14 comma replace, and the changes have been made. The next is we need rural urban. So rural urban is given by sector. So here is the sector. Now at times this can be confusing, so we will change sector to rural urban, and to do that we will go to variables manager. Here is sector, so we will select that, and in here we will change it to rural urban, and we will apply the changes. So now we can see that sector is replaced with rural urban, and it is less confusing. So now we have to use rural urban. So if we go to schedule and we scroll up, we will have to search for sector, and for sector 1 is for rural and 2 is for urban. So we have to define labels accordingly. So label define variable is a6, so a6, 1 is rural, 2 is urban. Now we will destring the variable, destring a6 comma replay, sorry, I mistyped dstring, changes have been made. Now I have to define values. So label values a6, and now if I tab it, so tab a6 with the weights iw equal to weight. So you can see that rural, now it has been changed to rural and urban, and these are the proportion of people living in rural areas, and this is in urban areas. So I have made the changes in with rural urban. So now the last thing that we have to create is state. Now in NSSO, state is given by NSS region. So if we tab NSS region, here is the NSS region A7. So you can see that it is of 3 length, but for states it starts from the first byte, that is it starts from 0, and it is of 2 length. So 0 1 represents a particular state, similarly uh, 0 2 represents a particular state. So we have to make changes with the NSS region. So for that we have to create a substring of this. So we have to create a substring of these three um, length these three length variable, and convert it into 2 length. So for that the command is generate string, and we will create a new variable state equal to, which is a substring of, and here we will choose a7. We want the process to start from the, we want the substring to start from the first byte, and it should be of 2 length. So 1 represents the byte from where we want to create the substring, and 2 is the length of the substring that we want, and we will press enter. So now it has been modified. Now if we tab the new generated variable state, so you can see that on now only we have 0 1 0 2, and these are the states that we require for the analysis. Similarly we will destring it, destring state comma replace, changes have been made. Now the thing comes is that we need to change these numbers to their respective names. So the one way to go about it is label define, and the variable name is state, and now we can open the state schedule. So if we go to supporting documents, here it is state code. So as I have already opened it, here it is given. So 01 for Jammu and Kashmir. So that means what I can do is 1, and then I can write Jammu underscore and underscore Kashmir. However, this is a very time consuming process. Also to keep in mind is that we cannot use, instead of a and d and, we cannot use this, because in STATA this and represents a particular command. So we cannot use this as and, we have to always use a and d. Also we cannot leave space in between, because if we leave space, then the STATA will recognize that from the particular given space a new coding has to be done, and so an error will come up. So we need to apply an underscore or dash, or just don't leave any any space in between, but we cannot have a space. So one way is to like just go to state code, take the code and write their name, and keep doing that for all of these. Now another way and easier method is to use the concatenate function. So for that I'm going to go to this state code. I'm going to copy all the states. I've copied it, and I'm going to open Excel, and I'm going to paste it here. So I have pasted it here. Now the thing that I have to do is, first I have to remove the space, because if there is a space then Stata won't recognize it, and I have to change this and symbol to A and D. So for that I am going to select this entire name column, and I'm going to go to find and select. So here I have the replace option. So first I have to remove the space. So find what and replace with. So in find what I will just press once space bar. So it means that it has to find all the space which is there in this selected column, and then it has to replace that with an underscore. So if I do this, then all the and Kashmir, so space here will be changed with an underscore. So I'm going to replace all. So you can see that 17 replacements have been done. So I'll press OK, and now you can see that the space has been changed to underscore. Now I have to change this and symbol to A and D. So for that I'm going to go here, and kindly be careful that still there is a space here. So I have to first press backspace to remove that space, and now I have to replace and symbol with A and D. You can use small a and D, but since everything is here is in capitals, in uppercase letters, so I am using A and D in uppercase. So now replace all, and you will see that 4 replacements have been made. Now I'm going to close this. So this small technique, what we have done is that we have removed the space, and we have also removed the and symbol. So wherever there was an and symbol, for example Dadar and Nagar Haveli, so and symbol has been replaced by A and D, and all the spaces have been replaced with an underscore. Now as you could see that here what we need is the letter, then a space, then the name, then again we have to apply space, and then the second code for the second state. So now we will use the concatenate function to first to make all those changes. So equal to concatenate. So here I will double click on it. Now first I have to, so first I need the code. So 1 comma, now I need a space. So for space it was quotation mark, space bar, quotation mark closed, comma. Now I need the state name. So state name, comma, and as I have shown here that after the state name we also need another space. So again I will put quotation mark, space bar, quotation mark closed, and I will close the bracket. And once I press enter, so you can see that one space, name of the state, and then there at last there is another space. So this is what we needed here. So now I will drag it, and you can see that the changes have been made. Now we don't need to individually write each names. This has been done. However, we need this in the row format, not in column. So for that I am going to copy what I have just created, copy, go to another cell, and I am going to go to paste special. Here I am going to select values, and I will use transpose, so that whatever values here we have in column we get in rows. So paste, and you can see that we have now put all the state code and state name in column wise with the necessary changes that are required in Stata. So now I am going to copy it, go to Stata. So I'm going to just replace this, and I'm going to paste it here. So you can see 1 space Jammu and Kashmir space, then the name of then the code for second state and the name of second state. So press enter, and you can see that these changes have been made here. Now label values, state, enter, and now I will tab state, apply the weight, and you can see that earlier we were having these numbers as the state codes, and now we have replaced them with the state names. So this is one of the handy techniques of concatenate command, which can really make life easier, and the chances of making errors while writing each name is high, but using the stata command, using the commands in Excel, there are very less or no chances of making error. If you carefully do this procedure, then you will successfully uh, create the state names and replace them. So now we have also made necessary changes with the state. So you can see that all the five all the five variables have been modified. So in this we were dealing with level 1 and level 3 variables. So that means that if we correctly derive this particular table using the five variables, so that would mean that our level 1 and level 3 have been correctly merged, because we are using level 1 and level 3 data to create a table which requires those variables. So if our table matches the NSSO reports table, that would mean that our level 1 and level 3 are correctly merged. So all the necessary changes have been made. So now we have to create that table. So what we need is, we have to if we go to the table, we need to tabulate state, and we have to tabulate the attendance. So you might ask that how we cannot see any kind of attendance here. So here it is given attendance. Here nowhere it is mentioned that what is the attendance, but we have been given that this is the kind, means we are working with attendance. So that's why we took C14 for status of current educational attendance. So I'm going to go to STATA. So we have to tabulate state and C14, apply weights equal to weight. Now we have to apply the necessary restrictions so that we get that particular. So if now we have to keep we need the necessary restriction of age group. So here is our age group. If age group is equal to 1, as we have coded 6 to 13 as 1. So by using age group equal to 1, we want this row of information. So age group is 1, and now the command is AND, means you want this restriction. Also there is another restriction. Now we need rural urban. So rural urban is given by A6. So A6, so I'm going to select A6. Now A6 is equal to 1. 1 represents rural, as we are dealing with the table in the rural sector. So A6 equal to 1. And the another restriction that we need is and is this table represents for male. So male is given by C6. So I'm going to select C6 equal to 1. 1 represents male, comma, NOF, row wise we want the results. So if we click here, you can see that this is the column that we are most interested with. So you can see status of current educational attendance. This is the current educational attendance for the different states. For age group 1, that is for 6 to 13 years old, for rural sector, and for males. So for Jammu and Kashmir it is 95.46. Now if we go to our table, here is Jammu and Kashmir. Here you can find 95%, and here the result we got was 95.46. So it is very close. Similarly, we can check for another, say for example Bihar. For Bihar it is 86.15. If we go here, here is Bihar, it is 86, so that means we are on the right track. Bihar, it was 86.15, sorry, for Bihar 86.15, and here we have 86. So that means we are getting the correct results. Overall for all over India it is 90, and if you check 90.73, so that means, and you can similarly check for others, you will find the same as, for example, Goa and Lakshadweep it is 100. So Lakshadweep, Puducherry, and where is Goa? Goa it is 100. So you can see that we have got the same results as what is given in the NSSO report. So that means our level 1 and level 3 have been correctly merged. Now if we want to check for, say, age group 14 to 17, that is for this age group, so in this particular command we will have to change the age group from 1 to 2. So I will select that command, I will change the age group to 2, and now it shows that for 14 to 17 years old um, individuals, this is the educational attendance. So for Jammu and Kashmir it is 89.42. For Jammu and Kashmir it is 89. Similarly for Goa and Delhi it is 100. So for, let's check, where is Goa? Goa it is 100. Delhi it is 100. Similarly Haryana 87.27. Here we can check Haryana 87. So you can see that both our merged data results and the NSSO reports match. That means we have correctly merged the files. And if we want to check for urban, so here the first table is for urban, the second table is sorry, the first table was for rural, the second table is for urban. So if we want to check for urban, so A6 is for sector rural urban, so from 1 is for rural, so I will change it to 2, and now I will get results for urban sector. So if I press enter, so this means for the age group equal to 2, that is for 14 to 17 of the urban sector, and for males. So let's check it for females, so I will change this to 2, sex to 2. So for females, so that means we are dealing with this particular female urban age group 14 to 17. So our results derived here should match with these results. So let's check for Jammu and Kashmir it is 87.30. So where is Jammu and Kashmir, it is 87. If we check the overall average it is 83. It is 83. If we check for, say, Kerala it is 99%. So here is Kerala. So for Kerala it is 99%. So that means our merge data set is correct. Our merge data set is correct, and results with and the results that we have created match with the results given in the NSSO report. So this is the thing, this is the command that we have to keep in mind, and depending on what conditions we need to apply, we will change the particular codes given over here, and we will get the results, and then we can match them with the NSSO reports. Now the second table I want to check is this proportion per thousand of students receiving different facilities for level of general education for each state and union territory, and this is rural plus urban. We are so, and then so we have to tabulate state, whether they are getting free education at primary level and general education. So I will just, so we need region, rural urban, sorry, NSS region for states whether education is free. So if we go to schedule and we scroll down, we have to check for whether students are given free education. So Mm. So here we can find yes, whether education is free, one for yes, two for no. So the question is whether education is free, and if we go to our NSSO, so it is given by whether education is free, so E17. So we have to always refer to schedule for what variables we need, and then find those variables in the data in our merge data file, that these are the particular variables. So we need E17, and then we need sector for rural, urban, and course code. Now why course code is required? Because here the report says that for general education, and if we go to schedule, so we can find that course code is given here. So there is general education and there is technical or professional education, but since the table only requires general education, therefore we will have to create a separate code defining that we are only interested in general education, not the technical education. So how we will go about it, I will show you in STATA. So I'm going to open my STATA. So we have already created state, so we don't need to do anything with it. So the second thing we need is we need course code. So course code is given by, yes, we have it, A8. So we will destring it first. So dstring course code comma replace, and now we have to recode it. Why do we need to recode it? If I go to schedule, because 1 2 3 4, so the first four are for general education and the remaining are for technical education. So I have to make two codes, one representing the general education and the other representing the technical education. So for that I will use recode the variable which is E8, and then 1 to 4 equal to 1, and 4 sorry 5 to, now 5 to 19. So 5 to 19, 19 equal to 2, or so we can recode it like this. Or the other way is that since we don't want to check what is the maximum, we just want the top number, so we can write 5 to max. Maximum is the last code that we have for that particular variable. So max comma, now we have to generate new variable, so generate, and now I will rename it as new underscore E8. We have to be always careful that we have to use bracket and there cannot be space, because if there is space, then error will come up. So I will press enter. So it has been recoded. So the table is, so now free education, is given by E17. So I have to change, so first I will tab it, tab E17 IW equal to wait, sorry, I did not put the E here. So this is the thing. So so from the schedule we know that 1 represents yes, 2 represents no. So we can quickly change the names. So label define, the variable is E17, 1 is yes, 2 is no. We have to destring it, dstring E17 comma replace, and then we have to label values E17 E17. And now if we again tab this, you can see that the numbers codes have been changed to what they actually imply. So this has been prepared. So now we have to create, so all the necessary changes have been made now. So we have to tab the state and a free education, and apply the restriction that we are dealing with primary and we are dealing with general education. So how we do that in STATA is tab state that we have created state that we have created, and the and E17, whether they are getting free education or not, apply weights, and now we have to put the restrictions. So uh, if level of course attendance, if E7 is equal to 7. Now you might ask that why E7 is equal to 7. Well, if you go to schedule, so you can see level of current attendance. So if we go here, so level of current attendance, and we have been given code. So level of current attendance, and primary is represented by 07, and as we are dealing here with primary, that's why we chose 07. So the level of current attendance is primary, comma NOF RO. Now you might ask that why did not I put use anything for rural urban, because the answer is, since we are dealing with rural plus urban, so that means if there is no separate command to put rural plus urban, if we just ignore the variable that is A6, so let me reformulate what is the thing. So if we want to show that we want to show the results for rural, then we put rural is given by A6 equal to 1, and if we want to show for urban, it is A6 equal to 2. However, if we want to show both rural plus urban, then we altogether remove the variable from the command, because then it implies that we are dealing in totality. So whenever we are dealing with rural plus urban, we don't have to mention A6. However, if the table required that we specify whether it is a rural area or an urban area, then we had to put command that and then is A7 is A6 is equal to 1 for rural and 2 for urban. So this is the command that we require for now. Sorry, there is a type mismatch, so it means that one of the variables is still in string variable, so I will just check. So E7 cannot be E7, most likely it is E7, so D string E7 comma replace. Now it has been changed, and now if I press enter, so these are the results. So this means for these states, and whether education is free at primary level, E7 equal to 7 is for primary level, these are the results. So for Jammu and Kashmir it is 44.40. so if I go to here, so for Jammu and Kashmir it is 444. So here we are dealing in percentage, and here we are dealing in per thousand. So percentage is divided by 100, and per thousand is for divided by 1000. So if we multiply these by 10, so we will get the same results as these. So if we are getting 44.40 for Jammu and Kashmir, that means for Jammu and Kashmir 444, because if we multiply 10 here, so we will get 444, and here we have 444. So that means the results. Similarly, we can check for another state. So say for example for Bihar it is 81.33. So if we go to Bihar 81.3, so that means similarly we can check another state, say Karnataka. So for Karnataka it is 551. So if we search here, it is Karnataka 5512. So if we multiply this by 10, we will get 551. So that means we are getting the correct result, means the results derived in the NSSO merged file is exactly same as what is given in the report. So that means we have correctly merged the file. And since in this particular in creating this particular file, we have used level 1 data as level 1, level 5 and level 3, so that means our all these three levels are correctly merged. Similarly, if we want to check for upper primary, so if we go to the NSSO report, so this is primary. Now we want to check for upper primary. So for upper primary, we will have to make certain, we have to just one make change. So this thing will remain the same, but if we go to schedule, so current attendance, level of current attendance, upper primary is represented by 08. So that means we have to change this 7 with 8, and if we press enter, so these are the results. So whether education is free, this is for yes. So here the education is free for the different states for upper primary level. So if we want to check the results, so for Jammu and Kashmir it is 54.5 54.52. So if we go to here to the NSS report, so for Jammu and Kashmir it is 545 for upper primary. So 545, if we multiply this with 10, we will get 545. Similarly, we can check for another state, say Uttar Pradesh, it is 42.67, and here if we go to Uttar Pradesh, it is 42.7, and here we have 42.67. So 1% change is perfectly fine with for matching results with the NSSO reports. So that means here we have used level 1, level 5 and level 3. So that means our level 1, 3 and 5 are correctly merged. That's why we are getting the correct results for when we are matching it with the NSSO reports. Now say for example we want to check for secondary and higher secondary. So if we go to schedule, we will find that secondary is represented by 08, higher secondary by 10. However, diploma and certificate courses are also are under secondary, and diploma and certificate courses are under senior secondary. So that means till now we have used this particular command, that equal to 8, but however for secondary and higher secondary we need 8 sorry we need 10, 11, 12 and 13. So we have to use all these four, so we cannot use the same command that we have used here, that e7 equal to 10. So we have to make a slight change. So for that, so I will remove this. So e7 is equal to 10, as 10 represents secondary. So we need 10, 11, 12 and 13. So for that we will write e7 equal to 10, and then we have to use the vertical bar, or also called pipe. So this is the vertical bar. So you can find this under your backspace key, and by pressing shift and this particular key you will get the vertical bar. And now we have to again e7 equal to 11. So this vertical bar means or. So when e7, that is when level of attendance is for secondary level, or for higher secondary level, or for certificate course, or for diploma certificate course. So this symbol represents or. So we have used 10, 11. Again we will use space bar vertical. We will press shift and this particular key, which is you can find below the space backspace. Then e7 equal to 11. Again vertical bar, e7 equal to 12, and again vertical bar, and we need for 13 also. So E7 equal to 13. And now another thing that we need is that we these are since the reports deal with general education, whereas these courses are not general, these are technical courses that we do. So therefore we have to now use the course code also. So for to incorporate that, we will use and. This is the restriction that we want to apply, and we have recoded E8 into as new E8. So new E8 equal to 1. 1 represents general education. We clubbed these, recoded these as 1 and these as 2. So we have applied that restriction as well, and then no frequency, and row wise we want the results. So if we press enter, so that means for higher and senior high secondary and higher secondary level, higher and senior higher secondary and higher secondary level, for rural and urban combined, free education, which is general. So all these restrictions have been imposed in this particular command, and these are the results. So if you check for Jammu and Kashmir, it is 48.40. So if we go to reports, here is Jammu and Kashmir, it is 487. So and here the result that we are getting is 48.4. so it is more or less the same, it is within 1% error value. So that means we are getting the result. Similarly for some other state we can check. So say for example Maharashtra, it is 286. I hope I am not wrong in selecting that. So where is Maharashtra? Here is Maharashtra. So we get 28.24, and here it is given as 28.6. So it is within 1 point error. We have to just multiply this with 10 to get in the 1000. And so this means that we have, so this is one of the things that we have to keep in mind, and this is why reading the schedule is so important, because by reading schedule we come to know that okay, these are the things which come under secondary and higher secondary. Because if we do not read it carefully, then we might ignore diploma and certificate course and diploma and certificate course for higher secondary. Also, if we don't read the schedule correctly, then we might not recode these general and technical professional, and and if we apply those commands, then we will get wrong results. Because so that is why we have to carefully read what the table requires us to do, and then go to schedule to find those necessary details, and then accordingly make those changes in the stata, and then apply the particular command. So you can see that we have correctly made this particular table, and the results match. So that means our data has been correctly merged. That's why we are getting the same results as what are given in the NSSO reports. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I would like to again mention that we have only dealt with level 1, level 3 and level 5. So similarly you can choose particular tables. There are numerous tables in the reports, and you can try replicating them in Stata, and if your results match with the NSSO reports, that means you have correctly merged. So more or less we can say that we have correctly merged the data file, and now we can move ahead and carry out our research. So hope you like this video. In the coming video I will show you some more commonly used commands in Stata, and also there will be a discussion on how to read schedule and what is the importance of schedule. So if you like this video, then don't forget to like and share this video. If you want us to make more such contents, then please comment in the comment section. Also you can write to us through email ID is given in the description section. Please subscribe to our channel to get updates about all our newly released videos. Thank you once again for joining today. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Bye.